assalamu alaikum, good morning, khushamdi, ji ayanu, goeiemorgen.
Pagkairagale, ni hao, churo shumme, washwale, ohio, genzaimas, guten morgen, hola, bonjour, privyet, kaifa hal, hale shuma chatore, ahlan wa sahlan, marhaba, buna, mucho, gracias, swabi up, and a very amazing good morning to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and are watching World this morning on not a very cold morning over here in Islamabad alongside Shiza Hashmi and Shahzad Khan. Hello Shiza, how are you doing today?
I feel like okay, but I was running late, so I'll tell you because you said it's not cold. Well, yes, it's not cold, but it just started raining.
Really?
Yes, it did. So, ladies and gentlemen, for everyone out there in the Twin Cities, I hope your day goes amazing because I absolutely love rain. And for me, it's a mood changer. I mean, I feel like no matter what you're going through, if I see rain for a minute, everything's going to be okay.
Yeah, and so if you guys are not riding a Rolls Royce, ladies and gentlemen, so do not forget to carry an umbrella with you as well, because Rolls Royce comes with an Rolls Royce is actually equipped with an umbrella. That's their signature. So please make sure that if you're going to drop your kids, if you're going towards work, please make sure that you do have an umbrella with you as well, because these days even people like us, you know, people who are labeled as Pakistani stars have to walk to their offices because our cars cannot get in. I don't know why.
Yeah, imagine that. Anyway, you know, Shahzad, this very, very amazing news for Pakistan.
Yep.
We were discussing it before as well. So, well, let's begin with Islamabad first of all.
Yep.
There were some times when a lot of people all around the world used to label Pakistanis or, you know, anyone belonging to any city of Pakistan with labels which were not, let's say, meant for us, first of all, which were not even positive or good. But fortunately, now things have turned over and Pakistan is actually hailing as a very prosperous country. And the good thing is World Crime Index actually gave out a report lately and Islamabad is now a safe city as compared to, guess what?
Paris.
Shanghai, Moscow, I mean,
London.
even Paris, yes,
Even
London. Imagine that, even Sydney. And I was just so proud to read it. Even Lahore, right?
Yes, exactly. So, you know, thank you very much for mentioning about Islamabad. And yeah, that's how we are, ladies and gentlemen, over here. So for all of those people who are watching us in 46 different countries, please make sure that you visit us because we're the safest city and country as well. And I think that, you know, it wasn't just only Islamabad, it was even Lahore as well, which was labeled as the safest city, which I think is a great job, you know. So for all of those people, for all of those law enforcement agencies, I think that you guys are on point. Please make sure that you continue to strive for excellence as well.
Yeah, that's
but
absolutely right.
what about today? So what are we discussing today?
Well, today it's something so important for everyone out there. We've got you, I mean, ladies and gentlemen, all of you out there. We will be talking about, well, something essential to everyone, fashion. And this is just, I mean, I feel like I'm covering it in a bracket, a very small one though. But we will generally be talking about what's going on in the industry, how someone can actually make a name in the industry, and then fashion for everyone out there. I mean, you do not really have to have a heavy pocket to be fashionable, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then, ladies and gentlemen, you know, what we were thinking, you know, when we invited this amazing guest over here to our studios. So what we were thinking was that, you know, not everybody can buy a 70,000 rupees shirt and wear it every single day.
Yeah.
You know, so there are people who will buy probably 2 or 3 branded products and use them wherever they think that it's more relevant as well. But other than that, you know, for people just like us, you know, from every walk of life, they cannot afford to have such fashion sense in the first place. And then when you cannot afford, obviously you kind of have to live with whatever you have and make the best of it. So how can we make the best of it by just living an ordinary life? I think that's something which we'll be discussing today as well. And what is fashion basically? Is fashion wearing branded clothes? Is fashion looking good? Is fashion
your personal statement?
Yeah,
let's say?
just being yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, what is fashion? What about you? What do you think is fashion?
For me specifically, I feel like, because Shahzad, I think you're going to agree with me as well, because of Instagram especially, and then, you know, everything going on in Pinterest as well, I feel like a lot of things are globalizing in terms of fashion. So whatever is, you know, trending in the streets of London or let's say in the streets of Paris, people who do have access to internet, even sitting in Pakistan, will sort of relate to that and will want to have or own those things. While, like you very rightly said, a lot of people might not be able to afford that. People are coming up with new means of things. Like, you know, we even had a show about how Pakistani lawn brands and then replicas are coming out for them as well. So I feel like whatever people can manage in their, well, again, their pocket, but again, it is globalizing, Shahzad. Because I'll tell you what, we travel a lot actually because of work too, but otherwise as well. So I feel like what I've brought from Pakistan to wherever I went last year for my summer vacations, everyone there had the same fashion sense as well. For a moment, I was like, hey, I'm at the same page with all these people, but then I was like, it's just because of Instagram.
Exactly, that's cool, and it's great that people are learning. But then at the same time, ladies and gentlemen, I think fashion over here in Pakistan is getting a little cheaper because nobody's wearing full clothes. So I think that they're saving the cost of the rest of the clothes too as well. But other than that, what Shiza said is very much on point, and it's because of the fact that just 2 or 3 days ago, I actually had to be at an opening for a restaurant, and it was a PR event, and then I was just confused. What should I wear?
Yeah.
So this is the same thing I did. I went
Instagram?
onto Instagram and I was just looking.
Hashtag OOTD.
And then there were people who were actually wearing their gym outfits as well, because I don't know why, because probably that was the time when people go to the gym, and right after the gym, that's where they can land. But what I did was what I thought was best, and since I have to wear clothes and change clothes every single day in large
Right.
number, I'm at least changing 4 to 5 dresses in a day. So I just do not have a lot of options because Masi bhi bhag gayi thi.
But that is where your style is
yeah,
coming as
and there
well.
was nobody else to wash my clothes as well. So pretty much, whatever I had, I wore that. But other than that, for people who are out there, these days the weather is changing.
Yeah.
Everybody, because earlier the weather was such where people had to wear a lot of jackets and whatnot.
Yes.
But now, since the weather is changing, I don't know what kind of fashion trends we need to follow probably. But everybody wants to be on point with their fashion sense, and
course.
I think
And why
that's
not?
great. And there's one more thing,
Yeah.
and I have done it myself, so that's why I'm telling you.
Okay.
So the other day, I went to get a cup of coffee, and while I was getting my cup of coffee, there was this lady who was wearing these amazing shoes. And so I was thinking to myself whether I should compliment her about the shoes or not, because I'm a fanatic about shoes. I love shoes quite a lot as well, and I invest on shoes as well. So what I did was I waited for my coffee and I waited for them to sit down. And then when she sat down, I went up to her and I was like, excuse me, I just couldn't hold it back, but your shoes are absolutely stunning.
Yeah.
And not just that, they look great on you. I think that for all of those material for all of that material which we are acquiring, ladies and gentlemen, if it suits you, it gives you a sense of fulfillment, it gives you confidence,
Absolutely,
and you look
absolutely.
great as well. So without any further ado, I know that both of us can do an entire show just together. But other than that, we have a guest over here, ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen.
an expert.
Yeah, his profile is so extensive that I cannot actually remember all of what he has done. I mean, he's been affiliated with the Korean Fashion Institutes as well. He's been affiliated with fashion institutes over here, almost fashion institutes all over the world. He's an assistant professor in a university where he's teaching fashion to a lot of students as well. So let's ask whether it's a good field to be in or not, and what's the kind of fashion trending these days. Hashtag fashion trending. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we are very lucky that we've actually been joined by the sole proprietor of Fat Nouri. He's none other than Mr. Muhammad Fawad Nouri. Hello, assalamu alaikum, good morning, how are you?
Walaikum assalam. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me here. I'm very glad to be here, and this is the right platform to discuss fashion because you both have a very good knowledge. So I think this is the right time to be.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
you,
much
sir.
for joining us, and it's wonderful to have you here. And since fashion is most of the time considered to be a woman's forte, so I think I'll actually let Shiza ask the first question and then follow on.
Okay,
All
well,
right?
of course, I do have so many questions, but to begin with, Shazad said, of course, mashallah, mashallah, you're such an amazing profile. But we have all these amazing medals over here and, all these magazines as well. Please let us know what these are about.
Actually, I was starting this journey in year 2000 when I got the admission in Pakistan School of Fashion Design.
Okay.
The school is affiliated with La Sham School of Paris.
All
And I've done
right.
my 4 years graduation.
And it's recognized by HEC.
Yep.
Yeah,
definitely.
Wow, that's amazing.
something I read
Definitely.
and remember.
Yeah, degree is more important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, starting journey, I'm very much keen to do something different in Pakistan because
Right.
Pakistan is a very different kind of a country. We have a very different kind of traditions and cultures, and the bridal wears are very important in our society and religion
Right.
because that fashion is the I think hallmark of the Pakistan. And now that's the lawn because that's the other thing, that's the other side, the pret wear.
Yeah.
So I've decided to do something different to recognize Pakistan as a fashion image building in world. So I'm currently working with Global Sustainable Fashion Week that's based in
Alright.
Budapest, Hungary. I'm a creative design head. Sustainable fashion is a new trend. in all over the world,
Thank you
especially
for
in
saying
Europe.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's
especially
so-
in Europe.
Right, absolutely.
So I think now it's not the trend. That's the only solution of fashion, because
absolutely.
environment is very important for us, because there is no planet B everywhere.
Right.
So
While we get to that, you
yeah.
know, I really do want to talk about sustainable fashion as well, but I'm
Yeah.
going to take you back to what
Same
you
here,
said.
same here, same here. I have a question too as well, and that's about sustainable fashion from my point of view.
Okay, okay.
So for me, ladies and gentlemen, my sustainable fashion is getting 2 or 3 new suits stitched and changing the shirt and the tie every single day. That's sustainable fashion.
That's sensible as well,
Yeah.
yes.
That's the one aspect.
That's one aspect. So
Okay.
what are the other aspects of sustainable
There are
fashion? Very
many
sorry, yeah.
aspects. They are starting from the material, what you have selected for developing a fabric,
Okay.
and then the process, the manufacturing trades, what kind of a machinery, and what kind of a employee is doing that stuff, how
Okay.
to
Right.
stitch, how to cut, how to sew. That's a different aspects.
Right,
So
absolutely.
that's a very whole good story, and I think Pakistan have to develop sustainable fashion in the region, because that's the future of fashion.
No, but the fashion these days, it does not let you breathe. I mean, I got these new suits stitched, and you know, I mean, it's so fitted that it's so hard for me to even get into the car. So I'm always like that, you know, I do not want my pants to, you know, go otherwise
But
as
you
well.
know,
You know, I do not want to hear that sound churr, you know, so I don't know. I think I have to behave like a lady, ladies and gentlemen, whenever sitting in the car or getting off. Why is fashion so uncomfortable at times?
It depends on the personality. Don't think so. Fashion is the lifestyle,
Alright.
and everything is under in your arms. What you want to wear, what you want to present. The
Right.
fashion, I think, it's everywhere is fashion, because anything which is adopted by mass is become a fashion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does.
Because
absolutely.
it's up to you how to present yourself in your society.
Yeah.
So become a fashion designer. It's a new hope for the Pakistan industry, and we have very good recognized fashion designer. We are doing brilliant in past as well,
Yes,
and now in
absolutely.
future is very good.
Yeah, I see that as well. I feel like Pakistan's fashion scene is absolutely on the top. But Shazad, while you were saying sometimes fashion does get uncomfortable, and it's not just about you. I mean, while
Yep.
I do understand suits can be fitted and they look nice.
Yeah.
I mean, when we're talking about ladies, even the corsets that go, you know, under the dresses and everything, it's just so hard to carry. And I mean, kudos to all the women who actually are always on top. I mean, each and every single day, and especially the celebrities who do have to keep up appearances every day as well.
so
So,
you
I feel
guys
like it's
have-
a hard job. Yeah.
Yes, so you guys have to wear corsets underneath your clothes as well?
I mean, for people who do, I
Really?
mean, I'm talking about Met Gala
Wow.
specifically.
I think the only thing we get to wear is an underwear and a vest, I think. That's it. Beta banan pehan lena. Okay, Maji.
But you know, and now I'm going to take you back to when you were talking about some things specific to Pakistani fashion, and let's begin with bridals because you spoke
Yeah.
about that as well. So, all right,
good
what's
topic.
new? I mean, because when we're talking about Pakistani bridals, the red, the maroon, it is so typical to Pakistan, especially in the subcontinent, not only in Pakistan, and it's recognized all over the world. So now you let us know what's new on the
I think
page.
that's the art tradition, that are classics. So
Right.
we have to follow that. But now in new trends, I think white and the black is neutral. They are
Right.
also in good in bridal wears. So lots of designers working on the neutrals. So because they have to change little the trends, because
Right.
everybody is following the same trend like maroon and the red. So now colors are more important,
Right,
especially because color have their own language and whole story.
Yep.
So if you, I think sustainable fashion is related to color as well, because when you finding that the fashion is everywhere and you don't want to know how to present yourself, that's the big question mark. Because
Exactly.
you have to present yourself in society.
Exactly.
Exactly. No, but I think that it's getting confusing for designers too as well, because earlier, you know, there was Mayo, then there was Mehndi, and then there was Barat and
Yes.
Walima. But now there's Shandi,
Yes.
and then there's
That's the
Walima.
that's the another concept of sustainable fashion in developing a marriages.
I think that's
Is that a
not a
good thing,
concept
are
of
you saying?
sustainable.
Yeah, I think it's good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not a concept of sustainable fashion. I think that's a concept of sustainable wedding, probably. Well, you
Yeah,
do not have to
definitely.
sustain a wedding once it got done. But for people who are investing millions of rupees in a dress which is supposed to be, which you're supposed to be wearing for only one day and few hours.
Right.
Why do you think anybody would want to lose so much money over a designer? I mean, how does it work, and why
And
are
you
people
were
so crazy
insisting
about
me
it?
actually to get a design.
Are you getting married?
No, I mean, we
so
just
why would I insist?
we were talking about anyway. Yes, please.
See, she's not.
Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, she's actually got a good news to share as well, but she's not sharing
All
with
in good
everybody.
time,
So
inshallah.
yeah, I just want her to be ready, and whenever she's ready, we're actually going to do a show on that too as
Yes,
well.
absolutely.
Yeah. So go
Yes.
ahead. So
Because
Shandy.
marriages are the biggest event in Pakistan, especially in subcontinent, because that is the only lifetime achievement, I think. Because one of a person is design him or herself as a bride or a groom. So definitely this is the day of achievement and starting of a new life. And it's a new journey to develop with the cope up with the partner, how you present yourself with the society and in your friend circles. So that's very important. You look beautiful, you look fabulous, you have to be carry what you are wearing.
Absolutely.
And everything related to the environment, and also with the makeup, the hairstyling, the accessories, that all complete package of the bride or a groom. It's look
Right.
very fabulous when you are presenting yourself in this kind
Yeah,
of.
while I agree with that, I mean, and you know, you very rightly said it's not just about fashion, it's about you being confident, it's about you being happy as well. But now in the beginning, Shahzad and I were speaking about how we can make fashion accessible for each and every single person belonging to any segment of the society. Do you have any ideas of how to do that?
That's sustainable fashion
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
Because
Yeah.
you create a whole society. You cater the upper class, lower class, middle class. That because sustainable fashion is the, I think, future of fashion.
Okay.
Because in Europe and other West countries, people are forcing him or herself to develop that kind of a fabric which is suitable for your body as well.
Okay.
It's not harmful for your skin.
Right.
Because the natural fibers are always important.
Yeah.
There are many man-made and synthetic fibers in market right now, but that not long-lasting.
All right.
That it will create the harmness in your skin, maybe in any other infection. So that's the new trend, and color is more important. I work for Society of Dyes and Colors, which is based in Bradford, UK.
Oh, okay.
I'm the youngest person in the history of SDC UK. I took the bronze medal
Wow.
award. That's the bronze medal award
Oh, that's
I've taken there.
amazing.
here.
So yeah, so color is very vital role play in any kind of a outfit. If you balance your color, then you can create the new look. Because most of the time that you are wearing fabulous suits, fabulous dressing, but your color balancing is not good with your skin tone, your
So
body type,
important,
your body
absolutely.
type, your hairstyling, your eye color. So that's a whole package will be considered when you are wearing yourself. And this is the, I think, the right way to represent yourself.
Right. While I agree with that, again, I feel like I'm saying this line quite a lot today. But listen, I think you're right in saying that one has to take in account their, of course, how their hair looks, their complexion, their eye color, and everything. But doesn't that restrict you from doing a lot of things? Like more usual than often, I'm thinking even twice before wearing something light, like pastel colors, even lime yellow or something like that. I might, but then again, I have to think a lot about it. But that restricts you, right?
No, not
That's
definitely.
taking
It
advantage
depends.
of your job,
It
ladies and
depends
gentlemen.
what kind of how you want
How?
to present. It depends on yourself, okay, because your body type and your skin tone it reflects the outfit what you are wearing. If it contrast, you can manage contrast very well, then you can go for it.
Right.
Otherwise, you have to balance the color scheme how it goes with your skin tone and eye color.
That's great.
And just
yeah, go
one
ahead.
quick question. Are prints out or are they still in?
Prints is still in because prints are everywhere, but prints become a sustainable fabric. Otherwise, it will create some kind of infection or any kind of a skin disease. But because synthetic fabrics and the digital printing are very far like nowadays, but still you have to consider what kind of fabric and what kind of inks you are using for printing.
Right.
All right,
So
and that's great.
important.
And ladies and gentlemen, which is why now what we're going to do is that we're actually going to share images from where Mr. Fawad was actually exhibiting his, entire line of whatever he actually designed. So what we're going to do is that we're actually going to check it out, and Mr. Fawad, you were actually supposed to let us know what the complete package was, because there are these women who are wearing these fabulous dresses, and since you talked about their hair, their eye makeup, and the rest of it, so just let us know how did that contrast work in making a full package. Okay, let's do that. Please share the pictures. All right. So what did you do? I mean,
Actually,
which
this
event
is the first event from 2016 till now date. I'm working with National Fashion League Hungary.
Okay.
National Fashion League Hungary is based in Budapest and Hungary. And this is the event we have launched, Global Sustainable Fashion Week. And I've been appointed as a creative design head of a Global Sustainable Fashion Week. And we have met with the ambassador of Pakistan there, and then I present as a lecture on social responsibility of designers.
Wow.
All right. So do you like portray Pakistani designs over there as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Or is it like a blend of Western
It's a
Pakistan?
blend of, because it's a little kind of a Western, because we have to cater the market of the
Right,
Western market. So
absolutely.
we have to take care of that market as well, because we have to develop that kind of outfits we will sell in Pakistan and also in international.
And what about this one?
This is an event which was to present a fashion collection in Nana Fashion House, because I'm working with her, and it's International Fashion Week Istanbul. And I
Well, that's
presented
great. But there's this one question which I wanted to ask you, and that is that you take a lot of selfies with these models. Your wife is over here in the studios. Doesn't she mind that as well? That Fawad, hey, come on, man, you got to find a little bit of space in between.
No, that's not.
Do you have a problem with that?
No,
His wife is over here in the studios. Do you
I
have a
don't think so. There
and
is
she's
no
saying
problem.
that I do not have a problem. Wow.
Yeah,
What
but
a
I think
wonderful
we also
wife
have
you
to give a shout out for her for coming and supporting as well. Thank you so much for being here. But I think this is okay now. This actually brings me to my next question,
Yeah, go
because
ahead.
when you're talking about, working in the fashion industry, things change day in, day out, and you have to be up to date. You have to be working even late night and whatnot. So, sort of striking the right balance between what you do while making your family happy as well. How do you do that?
I think when your work is your passion, then family always support you.
Wow.
Actually, my whole family background is from aviations.
Oh.
My grandfather was a aeronautical engineer. Then my father, my two little brothers are pilots.
Wow.
But
How did you convince them?
I am the black sheep of the family. So I convinced them that I want to do something different. I don't want to go with the same field. The whole family is doing that.
Yeah.
So the family give me support, and okay, you can start. But when I joined fashion school, initially whole family was criticizing me. This is not work for the boys. This is for the girls. I think cutting and sewing and sui dhage ka kaam, ye wo. So initially it was difficult.
And while I think this is a great journey for you as well, because when you're coming out of such a stereotypical culture, and I'm not talking particularly about you, because a lot of people out there as well, they had to struggle to first of all make their families understand, be them girls or boys, Shazad, if they were to study in fashion. And one of my, dad's very close friends, his son said he wanted to be a fashion designer, and no one was agreeing to that, because his dad was just saying, "Tum tailor banoge."
Yes, that was the first phrase from everybody. "Yaar, tum darzi banoge, tailor banoge."
Yeah, exactly, and that's very true as well, ladies and gentlemen, because when I went for my first television audition, my family said, "Tum Marasi banoge." And hey, I am one as well, so I do not mind that. But then at the same time, since we have to wrap up the segment as well, and since that's where we started our conversation from, weather's changing, and people are actually confused whether to wear all of those jackets or whether to come down to pullovers or stuff like that. So what will be your fashion advice for people from today onwards and for the next 2 months probably?
As far as I've experienced, I think fashion, in my definition, is simple but effective. You have to play with the colors, with balanced color scheme. Because nowadays everybody know what is the color of the year. Probably this is the companies that Pantone is, and Intercolor, the WGSN. They are international trend and forecasting companies. People aware about them. They know what are the trends of the colors and the prints. Classic blue is the color of the year, and women's for men's both can balance that color with their outfits.
Oh, I'm already wearing blue.
Yes, yeah.
I'm on point.
One last question before we do wrap up, actually. Sorry, I'm taking a lot of time, but here it goes. Some designers belonging to Pakistan and our neighboring country as well, because our fashion is usually coordinated, right? Both of us. Fully sequenced saris and, stuff is coming up, which I don't know, a lot of people are not fond of, including me. If I were to look at a piece of fabric that was like full of sequins.
I don't know what's the sequence though.
That's the embellishment material.
Embellishments, yes.
Right. So if I were to look at a fabric with so much sequins on it and, to drape it all over me, I wouldn't. But is it going to be the new thing, yes or no? What do you think?
Sequins I think it's the old fashion nowadays, because there are lots of lots of material in the market right now, and if you are talking about the neighboring country, that is the embellishment material and the technique to embellish the fabric is different to our neighboring country from Pakistan, because Pakistan has a different craft. The artisans are very different, and they know the rural areas of the artisans, the women working by hand embellishment and embroideries, and because of the difference of the material, the designer give them a sense and train them how you sew that material on the fabric with what kind of a color scheme and what kind of a depth and the height of the material which you are sewing on the fabric.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, that's great, and thank you very much, Mr. Fawad, for being with us. It was wonderful to be in
Thank you very
Thank you
conversation
so
with
much
you.
for being here.
And ladies and gentlemen, for everybody who's out there, see, everybody wants to look good, and when you look good, that's fashion. I think it's simple for me, but it's simple. It's not that simple for Shiza over here. Shiza, what's your definition of fashion?
Didn't we talk about this earlier as well? All right, but I feel like you were partially right when you're saying what fashion is. I mean, of course, you have to be, for me, you have to be like fully groomed.
Yep.
I mean, for whatever you're comfortable in.
Yeah.
And if, as long as it's giving you a lot of confidence in going wherever you are going, I think that works for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for saying that. And ladies and gentlemen, you always require confidence in the first place to carry whatever you're going to wear. So
Yeah, it's a cycle.
yeah, and how to achieve that confidence in life is something which we'll be discussing in the next segment as well. But please make sure that you check out Mr. Fawad Noori's work online as well. And the addresses will be shared towards the end of the show as well. So you can definitely catch up. Thank you very much once again. It was very kind of you. And you've achieved quite a lot in a very little space of time as
Yes,
well. So please
mashallah.
continue to strive for excellence. And for everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, we're heading out towards a short break. Don't go anywhere, because we will be
Right back. Good morning. Stay tuned.
let's do this.
welcome back to Well This Morning, ladies and gentlemen, with Shahzad Khan and Shiza Hashmi, where today at the PTV studios, it's a fashionable day. I'm saying that because if you were watching the first segment, we spoke about what's in, what's out, all about the fashion industry, the fashion scene of Pakistan, and how to, well, do sustainable fashion, especially in the coming months as well. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we shall be talking about a very important aspect of your personality, which everyone needs to develop as well and then nourish as well. Because when you're talking about your personality, Shahzad, you want to be liked by everyone, of course. I mean, no one thinks in a way where they don't want to be liked or appreciated in a gathering or something.
Exactly.
So how can you actually shape your personality or develop yourself in such a way that, first of all, you can be confident in whatever you're doing? And I feel like when you are oozing confidence, Shahzad, nothing can go wrong.
Exactly. Thank you very much for saying that. And I think that it's a wonderful topic which we are discussing today as well. But then at the same time, I think confidence does not come naturally, ladies and gentlemen. Confidence needs to be given to a person. And in fact, it needs to be given to a baby in the first place. And then the way you nurture those kids, I think that's where they inherit that sense of being confident as well. Doesn't really matter the kind of situation they are in, but if they do still remember that whatever situation they were in while they were growing up and their parents never snubbed them, their parents never shouted upon them as well, even when they were, in a gathering, I think that's where the kids start to get the confidence, and eventually when you get a little mature, you use that confidence to actually attain a good personality. And I think that this is what everybody wants in life as well. So talking about confidence, it just can't be that you go up in the open in a gathering of 200 people and say whatever you want to say. But with confidence, you really need to have that sense of the kind of words you're going to use for people who are actually right in front of you. But rather than, what I'm actually trying to explain, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have a master over here in the studio, because this gentleman himself has actually one way or another helped me attain that confidence in my life as well. He was my professor at my university. Well, not really mine, but in a way that he was, because we have learned quite a lot from him as well. So, when you start to present, or, there are a lot of presentations given to you while you're in your university, you have to be in front of those students and teachers. And then there are these annual days and annual functions where there are massive gatherings as well. And when you stand right in front of all of those people, you take a minute or two to settle down, think. But then once you do that, and once you've got the grip of the subject, you start to open up as well. And that's the time when you can have an impact on people, because a person who's an introvert will never have an impact, even though that the words they are saying are wiser, but the way you're saying is very important. But how to attain that confidence, ladies and gentlemen, for all of those people who are out there who are still facing a little bit of difficulty today, it's going to come out of the horse's mouth. The master is over here in the studios with us. Recently has been all over the television industry, and it's just because of the fact that his analytical skills are so great, his presentation skills are so great that people actually understand. Ladies and gentlemen, he's none other than Mr. Asif Rasool. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Assalam. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for joining us. It's wonderful to have you. So do you think that a person who's actually sitting on the sofa with hands like this is a confident posture?
Yes, exactly. I mean, non-verbal communication, it plays a very important role, and this is like one of the indicators. And we can see, like, you people are in the media, so when we are just going to watch you on television, so apparently these are your postures, which just tell us, like, Shiza has got a very specific style, she's there, and you're always there sitting. So this, like, it kind of, it gives a signal that, look, we are sitting there and we are very confident.
Yes, exactly. That's great. But how to be confident in life? I mean, since I was mentioning about universities as well, so I still remember that the first ever semester we were in Air University, there were a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds. There were people from Multan, there were people from KPK, there were people from elsewhere as well. And there were people who have never ever been in front of a bigger gathering. So I know that at that particular time, our teachers had a very difficult time explaining to students that you actually have to come in front of everybody and present. So how to give them that confidence? How do you think that you can motivate people to do something which they're not willing to do? Because that's where confidence is required.
This is a very good question. You must have observed as well at university level that when on first day, when you're there in the first class and students, normally teachers, they usually ask you to just come to the dais and introduce yourself. So what happens is people who are confident, they just go there, and there's a game, kind of game is going on. So people who are going to go to the dais first and they introduce themselves, they won the game.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like the level of confidence,
Yeah.
like the rest of the people, they are confused. They're just thinking that, well, we have got to go there, and it takes a lot of time. So I will start that, first of all, parenting. As already in the start of the program, you have
Right.
mentioned very rightly that parenting plays a very important role. When parents, I am very conscious about my kids.
Okay.
I really work on this specific area whenever I take them somewhere out in the gathering. I know they're a little shy, but I just really back them up. And I really want to provide them with this exposure so that when they go to college level or university level, they shouldn't get confused and all that.
Exactly.
Then the story basically it starts right after the birth. There is this one game, we call it social comparison.
Yep.
Okay.
So right after birth, parents are there, different family members are there. They are just going to see, and they just tag kids. Then the kids, when they grow up and they start playing inside the like family gathering and all that, and then all these elders, they behave like spectators and they are tagging kids, all shy and all that. This plays a very important role. And then like they come to the university and colleges, again there's a larger, bigger group, and all these factors, they are really going to affect. So first of all, if parents are conscious,
Yep.
if they are really going to focus, it really plays a very important role, and this way they are really going to develop this kind of skill in the kids, which is
Right.
really going to immensely influence their life.
Right, sir. I think you very rightly said all the things that you said, but I think I'm going to take this moment to, sort of further what you mentioned in the beginning, Shazad, how, parenting does play a role in developing confidence. And I'm only doing this because I don't want this to be underrated. I really want to highlight it again because it was such an amazing point. I don't know if people are going to take it the way you wanted to deliver it, but ladies and gentlemen, you cannot believe the amount of confidence one might get just in the beginning of your lifespan when you're living with your family, how they enable you, how they encourage you in things that you should do, in things that you should decide. So thank you so much for mentioning that, Shazad. But now, sir, you said that for people who are, let's say, confident usually, so they might go up to, first for the introduction and they win, you said. But social anxiety is a real thing. And while you might label someone as not confident, they might be anxious.
Exactly, but we just treat them in a very different way. We really understand people because, when we just go for the first round, so first there are 3 to 4 students, they are usually going to come on the dais and they introduce themselves. Then rest of the people, we have to understand then that they really need the support from the professors. And if we exactly understand this phenomena, we can really help them to recover from this temporary kind of situation.
Right.
And then there are certain few cases who really require a lot of time when you just scheme. But now we have got the concept of this group work where you have got like confident boys and girls students. You just tell them very clearly that, what's your job? It's one like you're confident, Allah Almighty has blessed you with this thing and already maybe you've got exposure and you're enjoying this thing.
Right.
But how about helping someone? If you're going to support one of your friends a little, and this really helps us a lot. A professor, they cannot focus on every student, like if there's a 40 or 45 students in the class, so it's quite difficult. And then there's a very short span of time, like 1 semester. It's not enough to just help people as well.
Right.
But if we are just going to develop this group work, and especially if we request these confident students, they can really help us a lot. Our process, they really support teachers as well. So this process cuts the time short, and we can just develop these students who are having problems.
And it's great, and which is why, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put my example right in front of you, and that is that ever since I was growing up, I was the most naughtiest child in my family, and it was just because of the fact that nobody ever snubbed me. I mean, my mother actually used to beat me quite a lot because of the fact that the
you were
things I
naughty?
used to do weren't really welcomed in my home. But other than that, whenever towards the end of the day, my father would come back home, all my sisters and my mother would actually complain about me. And my father wouldn't actually notice or take any notice of whatever they are saying. I mean, if it was something which was वाकई बहुत गिरी हुई हरकत, I'll definitely get a beating from my father. But other than that, he won't say a word. And I think that was something which actually gave me this confidence of expression that wherever I am or whatever I want or whatever I think, I can say it no matter what happens.
Right.
And I think that this is the exact feeling which people need to have from other people, that whatever they think, whatever they're seeing, it does not really matter to me. And I think that that's the first step you take towards your confidence or your voyage of confidence as well. So, sir, now very quickly, since we're only left with last 7 or 8 minutes, what I need to know is, there are 2 things. First, is confidence really important for success? Second, can having a lot of confidence bring you down and get you a little embarrassed as well?
While you answer that, because you mentioned, Shazad, a lot of confidence, please also talk about overconfidence.
Yeah, that.
Because that is so
I was
important.
trying to refer to
and
that.
Can I tell you, the first time I was introduced to the word or the term overconfidence was when I was in 4th class, and I was scoring really good in my exams, and for my final exams I was really not studying, and my mom was like, listen, you're being overconfident, all right, you're going to fail. I was like, what is that? There's no such thing as overconfidence. And I didn't fail, but I didn't get first position, so that was really the first time I experienced overconfidence. So please shed light on that as well.
Success and confidence, and then overconfidence and failure.
Okay, first I will just start off with this like success. You know, we have got different industries, different jobs as well. So when it comes to like your job, confidence matters a lot.
Right.
When it comes to corporate sector, confidence matters a lot. Similarly, when it comes to our field, confidence matters a lot. And we've got like other fields as well. Now, people who are unable to express themselves, I mean, people have got lots of ideas in their minds, and if they cannot communicate confidently those ideas with the people, how people are going to get to know about these ideas?
Exactly.
So for this is very important to have like a very nice level of confidence. Second is overconfidence. Yes, it does create problem for the students. For example, the other day, in the last semester, I had a wonderful female student, like she was very hardworking, she was excellent at preparing assignments and all that. But when just she went for the final exam, she was unable to score that like desired grades and marks. So when I asked her, she said that, well, you know, like after midterm exam, I came to know that, well, I'm very good, I'm excellent at it, I don't need to prepare myself. So I just spent like my time warning here and there and then helping people out, and I did not focus on it, and ultimately this landed me in the trouble and I've got these low grades. So I mean, balance is very important. Whatever the venture of life you are into, you have got to maintain the balance, because people, whatever the specific industry is, when they have got like they cross the limits, it really creates problems for them.
Of course.
So this is what the balance is very
Exactly. Well, that's great. But very quickly, sir, what we want you to do is, I mean, I know that it might be a little difficult for you at this very moment, but I'm going to ask for it. And that is, what are those basic exercises one can do to be more confident in life? I mean, just being at home, talking to people, probably talking to, you know, people who work at their places as well, because people, you know, who are not confident at all, they just do not talk and they do not express themselves. So what are the most basic exercises they can do to feel a little more confident?
Since like, you know, early in the morning, most of the time, parents, they're watching this program, and even people who are free there as well. Through this platform, I can just give this message that it's a very important part of this parents training. This should create space for the kid. Still, I go to many educated families where parents, it's not that they do not love, they really want the kids to groom in a wonderful way. But I have seen that they do not give them a specific time. I mean, when the guests are around, children are always snubbed. They're always cornered. This one. Second, people like, there are teenagers, especially they've got like, when they get conscious, they've got this problem. So number one is that you must realize it, that I've got this problem. The moment you're going to realize it, you should start working on that. And the best strategy is open up to the people, whoever is going to come to you, and especially develop like this good habit of developing, like introducing yourself to at least 1 or 2 strangers per day. Whoever comes to your guest, meet them openly, chat with them, ask them very good question when you go outside. And then whenever there's a place where you can just get the opportunity to get highlighted. Once I was at EME college, and some of my students, they were very shy. That was Friday. So when we were going to offer Juma prayer, so I asked them that, you know, like this is winter, most of the people, they're going to stay outside under the sun. They won't go inside the mosque. So your job is to just stand in the corner of the mosque and ask people that please come in. There's a place inside. So everyone is going to look at you. Similarly, you have got marriage ceremonies, gatherings. So if there is, let's say, Mehndi is going on or Nikah, and then there are 200, 300, 400 people are there. Your job is simply to move to the main place for this highlight. stand behind bride and groom, look at the audience.
Yeah.
At least you have got like this highlight and then go back.
Yeah, or probably just chant Mubarak ho, Mubarak ho, Mubarak ho. But sir,
Yeah,
these
thank
were
you
some
so
wonderful
much.
tips, and thank you very much for joining us. It was wonderful. It is always wonderful to
Yeah,
be in
absolutely.
conversation with you, and you've got some good grip over your subject. Very well done.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
being
sir.
here and then making us confident for what we do as well. Ladies and gentlemen, there are two things that we can do today
Yep.
to, build someone else's confidence. Number one, compliment someone. I mean, in anything, maybe you like their hair, maybe you like their work, maybe anything
shoes,
at
yeah.
all. Yeah, or shoes as well. And number two, if someone is feeling good about something for themselves, I mean, be it their clothes, maybe their mobile phone,
Yep.
maybe their work, anything at all, don't bring them down. I mean, don't just tell them that, no, I don't like it. No, it's not a good thing.
Yep.
Just, I mean, let them feel good about it. So that is one way that you can sort of, elevate their confidence as well.
Exactly, that's true. But ladies and gentlemen, I've got a very different way of doing things as well. And I think I've got a difference of opinion over here. I mean, if somebody asks you whether I'm looking good or not, you really need to be honest with that person because that person trusts you with that. So, I mean, if somebody's not, you got to tell them that you're not looking good. That's how my eye sees that. But very quickly, ladies and gentlemen, that is that the trends are changing. The latest trends are very different. Very sorry. But what we need to do is that, for example, alhamdulillah, now I have 2 daughters. So whenever my daughter says something which I don't think needs to be said in front of people,
Yeah.
I just do not say anything. I just smile. And because if we go back 2 decades earlier or a decade earlier, if there was something which wasn't very good to hear by our parents, I think what they would do is that they'll probably slap me or they'll probably tell me to
Shout.
shut up or they'll probably tell me to go away because they couldn't handle that embarrassment in front of those people. I think that the parent these days can handle, and ladies and gentlemen, just let your kids express and
Right.
let them say whatever they want to say, and you will see that they are going to be confident beings. And I'm sharing this because of the fact that for the last 3 years, my daughter's been going to school. For the last 2 years, she's always been participating in all the extracurricular activities and performing very well. So I think that this is what you need to do.
No, absolutely. There's definitely a part that you are playing. So be sure of that. Be cognizant of what your responsibilities are. Please write us on a Facebook page with the name of
World This Morning.
On
It's
Twitter.
going to be on your television screens. On Twitter, it's World This Morning without a G.
Daily Motion in YouTube.
World This Morning, World This Morning.
And the repeat you can catch at
5 past 11 p.m. tonight. Till the next time, 1, 2, 3. Good
Be
morning.
confident.